Alright, welcome to our lesson on polynomials. We're just going to basically answer the question of what is a polynomial. And you've already seen polynomials. To start off, to answer this question, we need to really say, what is a term? And you should know the answer to this. A term is just any combination of a number, or sometimes we'll say a coefficient, a variable, and an exponent. So something like 7x squared, that's a term. It could be a negative number, negative 3x, and maybe the exponent is 1, so negative 3x, that's a term. You don't actually need, maybe the number is 1, so you don't write it, so something like y cubed, right? The coefficient there, it's 1, y cubed. You don't even need the exponent. You could just have the number, so the number 5, that's a term. You could actually have more than one variable, so it could be like 3xy, that would be a term also. So all of these are terms, so we know that you can combine these terms by adding or subtracting to form an expression. So we can add and subtract terms. So we could add these two. 7x squared minus 3x. So that's an expression, right? 7x squared minus 3x. You can't actually do anything here because, remember, they are not like terms. But let's do another one. Y cubed plus 5 minus 3xy. So here I use these three terms, and I combine them using addition and subtraction. So that's another expression. Well, these things, we call them expressions, but we also call them polynomials. So a polynomial is basically a bunch of terms added and subtracted together. It is a combination of terms added and subtracted. We could just say a polynomial is an expression, added or subtracted. Okay, so that's what a polynomial is. And then we can kind of be more specific about the type of term or type of polynomial by how many terms there are. So this one, 7, well, we'll just do a single one first. So let's say, for example, remember 7x squared just by itself. That counts as a polynomial, but it's just a polynomial with one term. If there's just one term, we call it a monomial. So mono meaning one. So any of these terms up here are monomials just by themselves. When you combine two, so 7x squared minus 3x, we call that one a binomial. Bi meaning two. Maybe you could guess if you had 3 terms combined plus 3x minus 4. So here we have 1, 2, 3 terms. This one's called a trinomial. Okay, and then, I mean, you could keep going. You could have 4-term polynomial. Let's keep using the same one, 7x squared plus 3x minus 4, and then whatever, plus 5y. So here you have 4 terms. 3, 4. So there are 4 different terms. We don't really have a name for 4 term. We just call it a polynomial with 4 terms. You don't There's monomial, binomial, trinomial, and then after that you just kind of say four-term polynomial. And then if you want to know, remember polynomial, if you know what poly means many. So it's just a term with many, or it's a expression with many terms. So that's where we get the word polynomial. Just as maybe a couple other examples, you might look at something like 3x squared, and maybe want to simplify this. So 3x squared minus 5x plus 2x squared minus 4. So maybe you look at this and say, oh, okay, here's a polynomial, and if I said how many terms are there, you might think there's 4 terms. But don't forget that some of the terms are like, so when you have like terms, you can add them. So 3x squared plus 2x squared becomes 5x squared minus 5x minus 4. So this would be a trinomial. So you can't classify the polynomial until you've simplified by combining like terms. So this one is a trinomial, even though originally it looked like it had 4 terms, but since 2 are like, you can add those together.